I'm Theo.
And I'm Juliet.
And this is Apologies Accepted.
We offer an entertaining look at some of the big issues in history by examining public apologies of the famous and infamous.
We're looking at politicians, serial killers, actors, and you.
Send us a public apology you would like to make, and we'll read it on the air and give you a chance to redeem yourself or just get some guilt off your shoulders.
We're here for you. Once a week, maybe more if you're really, really sorry. Hey, how are you today?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm a little disjointed, but I'm fine.
Well, you had an eventful week.
Yeah, that was very leading audience, so I apologize for playing coy, but we had a shooting in our neighborhood that resulted in somebody dying at our front door. And it's been quite an ordeal for my little sleepy corner of downtown Austin. And it has really thrown me for a loop. I have a real new appreciation for what people in traumatic situations deal with mentally. Because it's no one that I knew. The body laid in the street in full view of my home. He was there for 5 hours. He was uncovered. Austin PD collected evidence for 5-6 hours. And he just lay there in full public view, shot multiple times. So there was also, not to be graphic, but it was uncomfortable to look at for many reasons.
Yeah.
And so, this week I have been bursting into tears for zero reason, like no reason, just walking down the stairs.
Well, there's plenty of reason. You saw someone get shot. I think that's the reason.
And sure, but it's not like there was blood on the stairs as I was going down the stairs, right? Or it was just random stuff. And the thing that really struck me as the most peculiar is every act of kindness that I see on TikTok or in the news, right? Every genuine act of kindness, I burst into tears.
Yeah.
There was a TikTok of a girl wearing a hijab who's saying, "Oh, I know sometimes it's uncomfortable to eat alone and maybe you have social anxiety. Let's eat together." And then she eats a sandwich and talks the person through that it's okay to be together. I'm going to cry now. I'm such a sucky. But anyway, things are getting better. The police may have some leads. We'll see where it lands. How about you? How are things?
I'm fine. Nothing happened to me. I didn't have any traumatic events happen this week, thank God. And I'm sorry that happened to you. That really sucks. I hope that you get to feeling better soon. And maybe you can start working in the community now for community rights and things like that. Although I think the police acted reasonably, didn't they? And besides the fact that they had to walk over a dead body.
Totally.
Yeah.
There was.
You always worry about that when police get involved in something these days.
Very much so. And there's quite a bit going on around that. And I've spoken with our city council district person who was amazing. I had initially called her office 3 times over the past few months in regards to this nightclub and concerns of violent fights in the street.
Right.
And of course, call the police too. I mean, these are fights where someone's going to die just from the tone of the screaming at each other, right?
Sure.
And so anyway, she's been great. And the police have been great. So we'll see what happens, but basically nothing's going to change. And the bar's been very clear that they're sorry.
Yeah. Well, I hope that doesn't happen again for any reason.
Same.
So keep my fingers crossed for you.
Same.
But really, nothing has happened to me at all. I've just been working, which is all I do all week long, every week. And I think last weekend I didn't do anything or go anywhere. Although I'm thinking about going to, it's such a topic change. There's a Ferris wheel.
That's great.
In Golden Gate Park now, which is great. It's only there temporarily, unfortunately. I think we should have a Ferris wheel all the time. That's the mark of any big city, is a giant Ferris wheel.
Of course.
But I I want to go there and sit on it, but Brent thinks it's a little unsafe. He's much more conservative COVID-wise than I am. I went to Arizona for a while, and he wasn't sure the driving was safe, so he didn't want to go. Not driving itself, but, stopping to get gas and to get food, and then, having to go to the store when you're in a different place. And we order all our food here, so we never go to the grocery store. We never go anywhere. Literally, we almost never go anywhere. But so I don't think he's going to go on the Ferris wheel with me until COVID is over, which means I might have to go by myself, which is, I think he would be okay with that, which doesn't make any sense, because if I got COVID on the Ferris wheel and brought it home to him, he would get it too. So he might as well enjoy the ride. But no.
I got nothing. I'm going to say I agree with you, but maybe it's this idea of, if you go, maybe you'll miss catching the virus, but if I'm 1 foot behind you, I'll catch it. Yeah, twice as chancy.
Yeah.
There is logic there, and I get it, but I agree with you. It's kind of like,
yeah, totally. But it's Halloween, so your Zoom background is a bunch of pumpkins, which is awesome. It looks great. And tomorrow is Halloween. By the time this goes on the air, it will be probably not Halloween unless we save it for next year.
Totally not be Halloween.
But we have a Halloween-themed episode.
We do.
This week.
And we have a great one. It's very light and easy and fun. So we started off heavy and serious that's our trick for your treat.
But it just wouldn't be authentic of us to not talk about the things that happen to us, even the really serious ones. So I think it's appropriate in this case to talk about it a little bit.
Agreed. It would have felt
we've done that.
Stupid to say, yeah. I did make cookies. I made Halloween cookies. I frosted them.
You made awesome zombie cookies.
They will be on our Instagram. I think they look like frogs, but
that's hilarious.
That's it is what they were eating. Of course.
I found a new bunch pan that we have to get at Williams-Sonoma, which I'll send you the link for. And I'll put it on the show. We'll put it on the show notes. So what's the apology this week then? How is there a Halloween-themed apology?
Right. And so that was actually really tricky. And you came up with a genius idea. I had nothing other than the Salem witch trial apologies, which,
right,
interesting, but that's been done to death. Everybody's burned a witch once in their life.
Sure.
So what we have is an apology from a child, a handwritten apology note for stealing a bowl of candy.
Let's read it.
Here we go. So, dear Mr. Ballman and family, I am truly, truly for taking your candy bowl. I am going to be 100% honest with everything I am about to say.
Red flag.
Well, I'll save it. Okay. So I'm going to be 100% honest with everything I'm about to say. I have truly realized what I have done was completely selfish and immature and just plain wrong. I was only just thinking about myself and having a good time, but not thinking about how it was going to impact others. Everything today was taken to heart, and I know better to never do anything like that again. So all I can ask for is your forgiveness from you and your family, and grant them blessings. Okay, so let's start with, she left the word sorry out of the first line.
Yes.
I'm truly. Okay, already.
All I can think of when I hear that apology is some poor kid sitting at the kitchen table with his parents standing over his shoulders saying, "You're truly sorry, and you'll never do this again, and you understand how selfish and immature you were, and write that down."
Totally. And so I smell a fish. I think there's some insincerity in here. Like, I'm sorry that I got caught is what I'm going to be.
Yeah.
And then I love this bit. I'm going to be 100% honest with everything I'm about to say. Well, that's the whole point of the note. Right.
That kind of leads you to believe that maybe he's not being 100% honest.
There could have been some lying involved here, right? And this thing of like, I was selfish and immature and just plain wrong. That totally is something my mother would have said to me verbatim.
Yes. Oh, poor you.
Just plain
poor
wrong.
Kid.
If I had stolen a bowl full of candy, I would probably.
But that's
a
trick, right? Isn't that what Halloween is about? I mean, I know you're supposed to ask first, but...
Good question. That's a great question. Yes, you're right. That should have been in their note. Haven't you ever heard of Halloween? I mean, you left candy out. I assume you know what the holiday's all about. That would have been my apology note.
Yeah. That's great. No, I don't think it's actually a trick, because you're supposed to say trick or treat first, and then if you don't get a treat, then you take whatever you want to take off their
Okay, that's well. And the thing that I don't know what it is about this part that bugs me so much, but I like this bit, right? So all I can ask for is your forgiveness from you and your family. Okay, cool,
Yeah.
perfect, and then grant them blessings.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I guess maybe God grant your family blessings. Who knows?
Oh, I thought it was the child blessing the people like she or he is the Pope, just dispensing blessings. I did something bad, and because I did something bad,
I'm going to bless you.
Yes, I'm going to make up for it. Here's your blessing. You wouldn't get this.
Oh, that's funny.
So, I don't know, Pope Jr. I'm going to say I wouldn't accept that, but then I do, because it's a kid.
I know. I totally accept this kid's apology. I mean, what's he going to say? What are you going to do? Your parents are standing there over you. You kind of feel bad about it. You kind of don't. You wish you'd gotten away with it, but you're just a kid. You don't know any better. Your brain isn't fully developed. So I'm going to accept it. It's a minor...
Oh, yes.
Whatever.
Infraction of societal norms or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is cute. It's so innocent. Not only the crime, but this idea of writing a note, a handwritten note, and leaving it at the door as a form of apology. I love these, I don't know, these social connections, right? Or what words am I looking for? Traditions, cultural norms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mores.
And it is, I mean, I'll say it is also exceptional. I think everybody's had something stolen from the front of their house at least once.
Oh, sure. Amazon all the time.
Yeah. I've had garden statues not statues, but little tiny statues.
Yeah, little statuettes.
Stolen, and lanterns and bullshit like that. And it happens, and okay. Great. I'm glad I have good taste.
And Halloween used to be about pranks and mischief. So that was actually the origin. Well, the origin goes way back.
It does. It sounds like somebody did more homework than I did again. And so I did some homework. I have some. Okay. I know where you're leading me, but let's see if my homework was as good as yours. Oh, well, was that all your homework? Because if it was, then...
Oh, yeah, that's all I did. I was just going to sit back and let you talk the rest of the episode.
Like every show. Try and get a word in edgewise. I'm a samurai of conversation.
That's funny. No, I didn't start too far back in the history of Halloween, because I thought you might be doing it. So I started around the late 1800s, but it really only went so far into that. So I thought maybe you had gone into the really early Halloween, but if you didn't, we can briefly mention it and move on.
You're a genius, and you know me so well, because yes, I started like Halloween and then fell down a rabbit hole for about an hour.
Uh-huh.
And so what we know is Halloween started on a Wednesday. No, nobody knows anything really.
I was nodding. Wednesday, sure.
Wednesday. That makes sense. Okay, so Halloween is an incorporation of a lot of old religious traditions and observations. We have some sense that our modern form of Halloween comes from the Irish. This is appropriately Samhain, which is a harvest festival. So what we know about Celtic Samhain comes from the ancient Irish sagas, which were written between the 9th and 12th centuries. Now, the Celts didn't have a written language, or at least not a written language that we understand. I think there was some form of and is it called Odom? I forget, but I think there's some circles, and people have said like some of the artwork might actually be some form of writing. Don't know, can't say. So we have to leave it to the Christian missionaries who came to Ireland in the 5th century and started taking notes in about 900 through 1200 about ancient Irish stories and traditions. So Samhain, for the Celtic belief, was the beginning of the new year. The following day is the first day of winter. Halloween is about aging and death, harvest. A lot of our imagery centers around death, but also it's pastoral, right? So there's pumpkins, of course, but
apples and fruits and things like that. Yeah.
And then our idea of the conventional idea of, let's call it the Disney cartoon witch, right?
Yeah.
Who's an older woman, the crone, is an aspect of the mother goddess. It's fate. And I've forgotten her actual Greek name. Sorry, Fate. It's not that you're not important. I'm just real bad with names. And so we have all of that kind of symbolism and all of that imagery moving forward through time. In one of the ancient Irish tales out of this saga, there's a hero named Nura, and he is sent begging from door to door.
Interesting.
Yeah, isn't that cool? And then in the same story, Nura enters into the fairy realm through a door in a hillside. And that gets to this idea of Samhain and Halloween is a thinning of the veil. It's where the two worlds, the afterlife and the living, have an opportunity to cross over. So there was a lot of imagery, a lot of ideas, a lot of symbolism about crossing over and movement, which is probably why Nura has to go from door to door. He is moving, right? And I didn't read the story. I thought about it, but that's all I did was think about it. So if I'd done real homework, I should have done that. But and so at the same time, there was also a Celtic tradition of leaving food out for the gods. And you left the food out for the gods to come by and help themselves, not only as a form of offering, but a form of protection for your household and home, right? So appeasing the gods who are traveling the land because the veils have thinned, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm putting a lot of my own spin onto this, everybody. But I would say, like, I could write an academic paper and it would stack up, I think. So let's see. Yes. And so that's great. And then the Christian church at a certain point in the 600s, and I think it's Pope Gregory the Magnificent, but don't hold me to that, told missionaries, hey, listen, when you're out in the fields doing work, rather than telling people you can't worship that God, just find a way to bring it over into our side, right? So if the natives are worshiping a tree, just consecrate the tree to Christ and let them go on worshiping the tree, and that'll be great. And so Samhain was one of those holidays that the Christian missionaries didn't know what to do with because it's about death and dying, but there wasn't really a way to
really attach to it. So they couldn't get rid of it.
So what they did was they invented All Souls Day, which is in the Middle English, the word saint was hallow, and we still have a vesture of that in our term of like hallowed ground. And so Hallows Day was Saints' Day. It was the day to worship all the saints. And that allowed for Hallow Evening, or the evening of the Hallow Day, where we get Halloween. And cool, great, don't know, sort of. Yes, there was some Halloween, I don't even want to call it observation, but in the 1700s in America, there's a reference to Hallowtide. But it doesn't seem to have really taken off culturally in the U.S. until about the 1800s when the Irish came over because of the, well, we say potato famine, but at a certain point, I'm sorry, I'm getting way too nerdy. Because the English apparently took all of the potatoes in a form of tax. So while there was a blight on the potato crops, I've been led to understand that this idea that like, oh, the potatoes all died isn't actually 100%
Well, it's not
true.
true.
The surviving potatoes
Interesting.
were sent to England. And so that exacerbated the Irish starvation and what forced a lot of Irish people, hi, some of my ancestors, over to the
Yeah,
U.S.
mine too. Yeah.
Which takes us to
Wow.
where your homework.
Yeah, so I started in about the late 1800s because I figured you would go up to that point more or less.
God, you're so fucking smart.
You
really are.
And I left all the Irish stuff to you. So what I have is that at the point where Theo has been talking about, Halloween was really about things like ghosts because of that thinning of the veil that he mentions, and witchcraft, but also pranks. So it was a big way of playing pranks on your neighbors and friends. But in the late 1800s, America tried to make Halloween more about community and neighborly parties than about things like ghosts and pranks and witchcraft. So there were a lot of Halloween parties focusing on foods of the season, like we were talking about, things like apples and pumpkins, and I don't know what else is a food of the season, but that sort of thing, gourds of various types, I guess, and costumes. So I just showed Theo a picture of this ghastly pumpkin that is from, I think, the 1950s, but we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here. No, it might be the 1920s. I'm sorry, I don't have the date, but I'll find out and we'll put it in the show notes along with the picture. It's quite frightening.
It is awesome.
Yeah. So Halloween in the early 1800s, as I mentioned, was a time for scaring people. And as the Smithsonian says, a time for anarchy. Jack-o'-lanterns dangled from the ends of sticks and teens jumped out from behind walls to terrorize smaller kids. So it was all for fun, but eventually, like everything else, it deteriorates and becomes sort of less fun. And kids were out demanding sweets or money or something in exchange for not burning down your house. So why not make it a tradition that people can enjoy? So the Smithsonian said, teach them how to ask politely for sweets and urge adults to have treats at the ready. So the first magazine articles talking about trick-or-treat were in the American Home magazine in the late 1930s. And radio programs aimed at kids like the Baby Snooks show and TV shows aimed at families like Jack Benny put the idea of trick-or-treating in front of a national audience. In 1952, there was a Donald Duck cartoon actually called Trick or Treat, which millions of people saw. And Huey, Dewey, and Louie get Uncle Donald Duck to give them candy instead of bombs, which is awesome.
Instead of bombs?
Well, explosives. So he tries to blow them up first, but then they convince him to, I haven't seen this episode, but then they convince him to give him candy instead. So as America became more modern, things got more and more out of control, and the mid-20th century press started calling it the Halloween problem, and Americans were trying to make the holiday safer for kids. So the treats sort of come from the tricks, so to speak. Like the treats were a way to distract and divert kids and young people from performing tricks on others that were not so nice. So now we're in the 1920s. So in addition to America trying to make Halloween less about mischief and mayhem and more about fun, there was the war in the 1940s, which affected things that were available, goods and services that were available in the United States. And to alleviate things like hoarding all the toilet paper, which we saw not so long ago, rationing was implemented in the U.S. and books were printed with stamps to exchange for goods, and you could only get so much of any one thing. And a third of the sugar imported to the United States came from the Philippines, which was occupied by Japan. So sugar was the first thing to be rationed in 1942. So Halloween celebrations had to focus less on treats and pranks because pranks were categorized by the government as the same category as sabotage during wartime. So trick-or-treating was halted in 1942 so that tired workers could rest and not slow down the country's vital production lines. And other activities were provided for kids. So they had things like movies at high schools, costume contests, parades, and things like that. People went to YMCAs for dances and celebrations instead of going out and trick-or-treating. It was almost, I wouldn't say it was almost illegal to trick-or-treat in 1942, but it was certainly frowned upon. But sugar rationing ended in 1947, and this is when we really see the commercialization of Halloween kicking off. So companies launched ad campaigns, kids' magazines featured trick-or-treating, There were more costume parties that continued to be a thing and hay rides. In 1951, there was the first Halloween peanut strip when Charlie Brown modeled for Patty's Jack-o'-lantern. And in 1966, It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown came out, which is not the best of the Peanuts TV shows, but it's not bad. So I think the Christmas one will always be the best one. Personally, I'm a big Peanuts fan. So It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown was actually nominated for 3 Emmys, and kids actually sent candy to Charlie Brown because they felt bad for him.
You're going to have to stop right there because you have to explain that to me. I watched it last weekend. It's a Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. I did, yeah. Saturday night, I wanted to do something kind of Halloween-y, but also uplifting and fun because, pandemic and politics. So I was like, I watch Charlie Brown. And it wasn't awesome. I mean, it was okay. No, I was expecting a flood of nostalgia. I haven't seen it in 10 years, 15 years, right? I'm only 25. So, of course, the last time I saw it was like when I was 10 years old. Yeah.
Well, it
and
just
so
doesn't
it was
have the great music of the Christmas one, but it was nominated for 3 Emmys. I think perhaps at that time, television programs were not as advanced as they are now.
Maybe. I wasn't thinking about the playing field. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was 1966, so there were probably other things that were better than that, but maybe it was sort of everyone loved pumpkin, everyone loved Peanuts, and so it was just great to have a TV show, and it was probably very popular with the kids. I don't know. But, I mean, if kids sent candy to Charlie Brown because they felt bad for him, they must have watched it.
That is so adorable. Would it happen today?
I don't know.
Are our children that giving and kind?
How would it happen? You wouldn't even know where to send anything anymore. And who are you going to send it to? YouTube? I mean...
Fair enough. Society's over.
I don't know. Society is over. It's the worst. Yeah, and speaking of doing good things, kids used to walk around with a UNICEF box when they went trick-or-treating to collect money for UNICEF. And the first year they did that, they raised $175 million in the U.S.
That is great. $175 million?
In like the 60s or something.
That'd be like a billion.
50 billion today.
All the money in the world.
Yeah.
And that money was in the form of nickels and quarters. These kids are walking around.
Can you imagine?
40 pounds of money.
But that's a great thing that you don't see today. You don't see a lot of people going door to door, and I guess it's because we're afraid of what might happen, which will lead us momentarily to another interesting topic. But when I grew up, I remember we had, and this was in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia area, we had something called Mischief Night, which a lot of people don't have. And it's centered on the Philadelphia, New Jersey area. And what that is sort of a throwback to the days when Halloween was more about pranks. And Mischief Night is the night before Halloween, I think, is the night before Halloween. And you go out and you toilet paper people's houses and trees and throw eggs at houses and cars and write on people's windows with soap and smash their pumpkins, stuff like that. So nothing really property damaging. And, we used soap to write on windows, not ink. So I think people were cognizant of not really doing any damage, but still having fun. And I understand they do this in some other places, and it's known as things like Devil's Night, Goosey Night, Moving Night, Cabbage Night, and Mat Night, which is interesting. I think Mischief Night makes the most sense. But it was a lot of fun. And we weren't supposed to do it, but we did it anyway. So,
did you ever?
If Mom is listening, I never did it.
Oh, I know. I never did it either. Any of that. Never took soap. We didn't have a word for it when I was growing up, but you would run around. And I only did it once, and I was 6 years old, and I got to run with like the bigger, older kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I remember taking a bar of, it was probably Zest soap.
Yeah.
And writing on somebody's basement window because that was ground level, right?
Yeah.
And then corning. Did you ever corn anybody's house?
No.
You
I don't know what that is.
Handful of dried popcorn, unpopped.
Unpopped popcorn.
And you throw it at the front door, and it makes this clattering noise that's really loud and super disturbing. And then you run away laughing.
Well, that's an innocent way of having fun.
And you're giving people popcorn.
That. No, totally. Yeah, they could eat afterwards.
Right.
That's awesome. So, but I mentioned not going around door to door collecting money with UNICEF anymore because people were afraid of what might happen. And one of the things that Halloween has sort of turned into, or people are afraid of around Halloween, is getting candy that's been tainted or in some way, like, adulterated with razor blades or something like that. So the interesting thing about that, and I don't know if you did any research on this.
None.
Okay. But the interesting thing about that is that none of this ever happened. All the stories you hear about people having razor blades in apples and poison and various things never happened. The only things that have ever really happened, well, there's only one instance that has been proven, and that is the instance of one father who poisoned his own son by putting, I think it was arsenic, in pixie sticks. And he also, I believe he killed his son, but he also put the poison in his son's friends' pixie sticks. They just didn't eat them. Thank God.
Wow.
Yeah, but he wanted to do that to make it look like he wasn't the one who did it, to divert the suspicion from himself. But unfortunately, his son did die, and he was convicted. But this led me to go down a rabbit hole of my own, which is completely unrelated to Halloween, but is interesting to me. And that is, how safe is our food? The food that we eat on a daily basis. Like, I understand there are a lot of regulations and a lot of industry organizations that regulate the food that we eat and how it's produced. But I had heard some rumors about Trump deregulating the food system. And so I looked into it a little bit, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but in January 2017, Trump told food regulation agencies, well, all agencies, I think, to repeal 2 rules for every new one. I don't know if you remember that, but I remember hearing that and thinking that's insane. But he actually did, and they have been trying to do that. I'm not sure if it was a law, but it was something he definitely put emphasis on, and I believe keeps up with, or someone keeps up with for him probably. And he's using COVID as an excuse to continue doing this. So we have seen clean air regulations and pollution reporting rules being rolled back, and restrictions from labor protections for meatpacking workers. So the industry is happy about this because they say it makes it easier for them to provide food for the public, but advocates for safety worry about the impact on workers and the environment. So one of the things you might be interested in is that used to be that poultry processors, chicken manufacturers, they don't manufacture the chicken.
How adorable. A chicken factory.
They process it. It used to be that they had to dispose of chickens with tumors caused by avian leukosis,
Oh my
which
God.
is a cancer-causing virus in chickens. And now some poultry plants can just cut the tumors off and send the chickens on. I know, I've never eaten chicken again since I read this. Not only that, but there's a new thing called a poultry inspection service, which lets the chicken processors run their lines faster, which makes it harder for workers to see things like tumors. So you might see tumors getting through at higher rates. And it also increases the injury rates of the workers who are trying so hard to process all these chickens. It used to be like, I don't know, it was like 120 chickens an hour or something. Now it's 150 or something. So it's significantly greater rate that these chickens are coming through on the what do you call those lines?
Conveyor belt?
Processing lines. Conveyor belt. Yeah, conveyor belt. So not only that, but now that we have coronavirus, OSHA is not required to track the spread of workplace illnesses. So they don't have to track coronavirus at all. OSHA is not responsible for any of that. It's supposedly up to companies to make a good faith effort to track illnesses, which you know how that is. I see you rolling your eyes.
Oh,
exactly. A good faith effort means no effort at all.
Horrified on so many fucking levels. It's like,
right?
Hi, this is just the stuff that keeps people alive. It's called food, but yeah. Why not?
We don't really care. It doesn't matter.
Money.
The EPA stopped fining food plants and fertilizer factories for excessive emissions or chicken and pig farms for unsafe runoff. Again, the companies are supposed to monitor themselves. The EPA would not issue fines if COVID-19 was the cause of an issue. So all you have to do is say, yeah, we have a lot of runoffs from our factory, but we've all got COVID, so that's why. The EPA would be like, all right, no problem. And now the other thing that I can't believe people aren't up in arms about is that food labels don't have to provide, well, first off, restaurants don't have to provide nutrition labeling for packaged food they sell, which is a big deal now that people are getting more takeout due to COVID. So they don't have to label calories, and large chain restaurants, you've noticed over the past, decades that chain restaurants are providing calorie counts and other nutrition information on their menus. That's no longer required. And not only that, but the big deal, which I didn't for some reason write about, the FDA is allowing food and drink products to have ingredients substituted without updating the labels. So the ingredients can't be one of the big 8 allergens like peanuts, but it can still be things that cause severe health consequences. And they don't have to update their labels anymore. So there are other things that are going on, but it's really crazy. And meat processing plants have been declared critical infrastructure as of this April. So when folks in meat processing plants get coronavirus, the plants cannot close. They have to stay open. And just the workers don't have PPE, protective equipment, or anything dividing them from each other, or they can't social distance because they need to stand so close to each other on those conveyor belts. They have extended shifts up to 11 hours for people and made the line faster, as I mentioned. And someone said, this means we bump into each other more often as we work. We don't even have time to cover our mouths if we sneeze because the line is moving so fast, which is horrible. Just the working conditions are unbelievable. Trump is also gutting the school lunch nutrition program. And probably one of the worst things that's going on is Trump has been consistently hiring conservatives to key roles in the FDA. And these folks disregard science. So we've seen people putting out press releases and editorials calling for a good personnel sweep of the FDA and calling the FDA an organization of petty people with personal agendas. So they're basically trying to delegitimize these organizations that have been put in place to protect our food and basically making food less safe. So I, for one, am no longer going to eat meat of any kind after reading these articles. I just don't think it's safe enough. And I don't think the workers are treated appropriately. So no more chicken, no more poultry, no more meat or fish for me.
I can't be more horrified by what I've just heard. That is, I didn't know any of that. And one, we are breaking news. So
yeah. Hooray for us.
Hooray for us. And two, like I'm troubled on many levels, but also if we all stop eating animals soon, there will be so many of them, they'll be eating us.
I don't think it works that way.
But I thought that's why we ate animals.
That's funny. No, we are breeding animals to eat, which we should stop, I think. We can have cows meandering around pastures happily on their own without worrying about being eaten. And that would be perfect.
All right. So I'm with you 100%, but I love my animal friends. They are delicious, right? Yeah, I will not have this conversation because now I hear all my vegetarian and vegan friends screaming because I'm about to say things that are horrible. Like, I don't know if a cow's really worried about being eaten, but I will say
cows screaming. They totally know they're going to be killed.
Oh no, because there was that documentary that I didn't watch on purpose.
I bet.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah,
slaughter is horrible.
Oh wow, but. Yeah. Okay. So and there's a lot there, and maybe there's a meat industry apology or something.
Right.
For sure, there'll be one in the future. Thanks, Trump.
Yeah. Hopefully.
And we can cover that because I do find that interesting, and it's a great conversation, right? Eating meat, not eating meat, etc.
Right.
But also, it's horrific. That health regulations around food, regardless of if it's meat or let's say, I couldn't think of the word for vegetables because I don't eat them. I only eat meat.
You only eat meat, yeah.
I'll chase a cow down the street.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's been, what, is it listeria in lettuce?
Yeah.
Ton of that.
E. coli.
I was going to say syphilis. What's that other one that starts with an S? Salmonella?
Salmonella.
Yeah. There's been that. So
Well, that's not because of lack of regulations, but if there were fewer regulations, we may not be able to handle things like Salmonella and E. coli outbreaks as easily as we do now. Yeah, I mean, there's no way to prevent such things from happening, at least occasionally, but we have to have rules in place to handle, to make them happen less often. Like, let's not have people eliminating in the fields, for example.
Yeah, let's not go back to the 1800s with our regulations when people were dying. Right. So what I'm hearing from you is the only safe food to eat is candy.
Candy, totally.
Candy is 100% safe.
And it's safe now. It's 100% safe. Nobody poisons candy. Nobody puts razor blades in candy. Even if someone gives your kid popcorn balls, totally safe. Don't worry about it. Let them eat it.
Well, then, amen, because that's what I'll be eating tomorrow, since we'll have no trick-or-treaters coming to our door. And I did buy $30 worth of candy.
Do you ever have trick-or-treaters come to your house?
We had one last year and in our old house, and he was like 2 years old. Did you give them
all the candy? Here's all the candy.
His parents wouldn't let me. I gave his parents candy, and they were like, no, thanks, but all right, we'll take one piece. Oh, come on, you hippies.
No fun.
Take all of it. So, yeah.
No fun.
So how about you? Do you get trick-or-treaters in your neck of the woods?
No, we don't. And I don't know why, because my block is a block of people who own their homes, which is just a block. I live in San Francisco, so every block is different. And one block up is renters. So I understand why they don't get, but maybe people just don't know where the homes are. But about 6 to 8 blocks from here, there is a street that has all of the Halloween trick-or-treaters come to. And everyone on that block, really goes all out with the lights and the decorations and makes it a lot of fun. I had a friend who lived on that street, and one year I went and helped him give out candy, and it was like the best Halloween I ever had, because there were so many kids, and they were all dressed up, and they were so excited. And inside the house, the guy was having a party with like alcohol and adult things, and then outside the house it was kids, so you could alternate between having a childhood Halloween and having an adult Halloween.
Christmas. Stop. It's Halloween.
So it was totally fun. I know you said you went to like Target or something at Cost Plus, and they had Christmas things
horrified. I'm the biggest bargain shopper on the planet, and so the week before Halloween or whatever, things start getting discounted, and I'll go around and I'll pick up some decorations or whatever. Yeah, Target had some Halloween decorations up, and they weren't on sale, bastards. And I went to Home Goods. I feel weird saying all these name brands, but there you go. Specifically for Halloween decorations. And no, they had Christmas. There were like two witch dolls that you would sit on the shelf, like Elf on a Shelf, but they were witches.
Right, witch on a shelf.
Which is this thing of Halloween trying to steal all of the Christmas traditions, because Halloween doesn't know what to do with itself with decorations outside of jack-o'-lanterns. You know, there's like scary, I'm going to call them scary trees. They're not scary trees. They're just trees with no leaves, and then you hang like bats and skeletons on them or whatever. I mean, come on, don't rip off a Christmas tree. Come up with something original, not cool. Did you uncover in your homework the amount of money that Americans spend on Halloween?
Like $2 billion or something? No, more than that.
2.6 on candy.
Yeah.
And $9 billion on Halloween total. So within that, call it $3 billion, 30% is for candy. And then the rest of it. And this was from so I was going to, not from Decor at Home Goods, because they didn't have any. But I'm going to say it's probably alcohol, because this is from the national regional.
Alcohol's not Halloween, though. I mean, do they have Halloween alcohols?
No, but I guess people throw parties.
I guess.
I mean, so maybe, but I can't imagine that people are spending that much money.
It's probably zombie sugar cookies.
On costume. Well, undoubtedly, because I'll tell you, it took me 6 cups of icing, whatever you call that, powdered sugar. So, I mean, is it costumes and decorations?
Must be. That's a lot of money. But I guess it can get expensive. I don't know. There's a store down the street from us that rents Halloween costumes, and that's the only way I would ever do it these days. I wouldn't buy them.
I don't wear costumes anymore.
Oh, yeah, I haven't for years, but
I did up until like maybe 10 years ago. And I
really,
just, yeah. Which is also this thing of like when you were growing up, right? And when you were
mhm,
not doing Mrs. Knife,
right,
Miss, oh my,
mischief.
MFG. See, I'm so good, I can't
Mischief.
even say the word. But did adults celebrate Halloween?
No,
No, not in my
no,
circle, like my circle of adults. Yeah, not in my mother's
no,
circle
yeah.
either, right?
Yeah, I don't know if my dad and mom even decorated for Halloween. I think they must have done something, but like a pumpkin, but maybe that's it.
I'm going to say same. We didn't have
Yeah.
decorations. We didn't
We didn't
do
go all
anything.
out like you see occasionally these days.
And so I remember a certain point growing up that like, oh, I can't do Halloween anymore because
Yeah.
I'm too old, right?
Yeah, it was around 11 or 12.
Yeah, we're 15. And we all have our it's a spectrum, as I like to say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But then roundabout when I was, I don't know, 18 to 20, all of a sudden it seemed like adults were doing Halloween. Because I
Right.
remember thinking how weird it was that like you're buying a costume or you're having a party on how isn't that for kids? What? Right?
Yeah. I don't know.
And it shifted. So we lived in West Hollywood I mean, I lived in LA for 25 years, and the West Hollywood Halloween Carnival, we just always called it the Halloween parade,
When
right?
did you live in West Hollywood?
Huge. 3 years.
Where did you live?
We lived off of Melrose.
I don't think I ever visited you when you lived in West Hollywood.
No,
I don't
probably
remember you living there.
probably not.
That's weird.
That's just about the time I met James, so I'd moved from
Oh, wow.
H.
Was it you? Wow, you've known James a long time.
I have known James a long time. I've known
How
you
long?
twice as long, so we won't
Oh,
talk about
yeah.
that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
40 years.
Jesus, it's can't impossible.
Have you known James for 20 years?
Just about.
Holy crap. Wow, how does that happen?
I have no idea. Well, I met him around the time you got married, so, I'm going to say do
Was
the
it
math.
really around that time?
Yeah, just maybe the same year. Met him in
Wow.
spring, and then
I thought, for some reason, I thought you'd been together for a while when you were at our wedding.
maybe it had been a year.
Wow.
I'm going to trick question. How many years have you been married now?
A bunch.
Okay. So we've
It
been
was 2003, so what's that, 15?
same year. Yeah. So
I don't know.
17 years.
17 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
So bang, right?
Wow.
But anyway, so the West Hollywood Halloween Festival gets like, I mean, I worked for the city for a while, and so our figure was 400,000 people, like 425,000 people would attend, right? And what you had was a couple of city blocks that are closed off, pedestrian only, right in front of all the bars, and then all the gay bars. And then people just sort of walk around in the street in their costumes, and some of the costumes are insane, right?
I bet, yeah.
And super fun. I don't think we've ever had a shooting or any issues around that. But that is also all adults. It is not children going out or people bringing kids. It's adult, and sometimes it's very adult. Some of those costumes are a little, Halloween's the one night where
like Fulton Street.
Your inner, is the S word allowed?
Sure.
Where your inner slut is allowed to like, what if I said some really horrible S word? What?
Like what?
I don't know.
I couldn't think of an S word. I couldn't think of an S word that would be so bad that we couldn't say it.
Me either. But slut feels like one of those words. One, it hurts my feelings because no, it's not true anymore. And two, I'm not in the competition anymore either, everybody. Sorry. But yeah, so a lot of like provocative outfits and stuff like that. There's not so much candy. That's all like the drinking and stuff. And I
guess so, because they have all those sexy Halloween costumes, like sexy ants or sexy, I don't know what, I can't think of anything.
I'm sorry,
sexy flower delivery
ant?
people. A-N-T.
Oh, okay. Because I went straight to like my uncle and then his sister, my aunt. Like,
No.
dang.
I just couldn't think of anything that would, that
A
could be made
sexy
sexy.
aunt. Oh, this corn's so heavy I can't carry it. Will somebody come over here and help me? You can lift 50 times your own weight, lady. You're lying. That's your sinful antenna away. I'm sorry, but of all the insects in the world, a bee, I guess.
Sexy bee.
Sexy
That makes
ants.
more sense.
How would you
Sexy
even
bee.
fucking do that
That's completely
costume?
logical. Just put high heels on and, I don't know, carry around some breadcrumbs.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. I'm so...
I'm totally crying.
This is
Jeez.
balm for the soul, as my friend Judith would say.
That's good. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, James. Off to work.
Okay, so on to more serious topics, right?
Okay.
Like Halloween. So there was like this shift where when I was growing up, it was just for kids. Adults really didn't observe it or participate. Pardon me. And then, yeah, it became much more for adults. And now I would say it's probably even more adult driven.
Yeah. I mean, you certainly see a lot more advertising that seems to be aimed at adults. It's Halloween centered. So I guess kids still do go out and trick or treat, but I sure don't see them on my street. It seems limited, at least in San Francisco, to certain areas, like the rich areas where the kids always want to go because they get the full-size candy bars and things like that.
I have never gotten a full-size candy bar in Halloween, and I buy Halloween candy to give out, and I don't buy the full size.
You don't? I would I think I would if I had kids come to the house. I would want to be that family that gave out the full-size bars.
Well, I'm coming to your house then. Get ready.
Yeah, we can afford our own candy now. That's the part that's no fun.
That is the part that's no fun, because going from door to door was fun. I mean, that was like...
It was fun. It was a blast.
The best. Because you never knew when they opened the door, were they going to be, friendly and nice, or were they going to send you packing?
Yeah. So, do you have an apology, or do you have an apology that needs to be made to you?
I do have an apology that I need to make. So, for our segment of Who's Sorry Now, I am the person who is sorry. And so, given the theme of Halloween, I need to apologize to a bar in West Hollywood called The Revolver. Because one Halloween night during the festival, when the bar was packed, I reached over the counter and grabbed a bottle of bourbon and stole it and drank it inside the bar and gave out free shots to people. And I thought it was...
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding.
And they didn't arrest you and throw you out?
I don't know that they noticed, because there were so many people in the bar.
Wow.
Yeah. And so the Revolver went out of business.
I guess it did.
Because of that bottle of bourbon that I stole. It was the thing that hit their profit margin. So yeah. And I mean, I can't say like, oh, the bartenders didn't know. I don't know if they did know or didn't know, but it was probably just one of those, we got 6,000 people in here, we're going to leave it alone. So, Revolver, I apologize for stealing from you on Halloween. You overcharge for your drinks.
Well, there you go. All right. Well, I'm sorry they're not still around, but maybe the owner will remember, or one of the bartenders who was there at the time will remember.
The police, I'm sure, are on their way to my house right now. I mean, Catholic guilt is never ending. So that is the apology that I am making this week. How about you? Are you owed, or do you owe? Are you?
I'm owed an apology, and that would be my mother owes me an apology for many things, but Halloween related. She owes me an apology for making me go out one year because we didn't have a costume. So somebody did not plan in advance. This was when I was probably 8, maybe a little bit younger.
Oh my God, that's the peak Halloween trauma time. Like,
right? Right? And I didn't have a costume because we hadn't planned for one. And of course, somehow that was my fault, but whatever. I was 8 years old. Of course, I should be able to go out and obtain a costume for myself. So she made me go out dressed in a black leotard, black socks, and black gloves and say that I was the thing.
Oh, no. I mean...
I know. It was so embarrassing.
That is not even close. Did she write a sign and tie it around your neck so everybody could...
No, but you know what? Nobody even asked. I think they just all felt so sorry for me. They gave me candy. Please go away, little girl. You look sad.
Right, totally.
So my mother owes me an apology for that. So I would accept an apology from my mother for that or for anything she would care to apologize to me for. If she apologized to me for that, I would let it represent all the apologies that she owes me. But she's not the kind of person to apologize. So that's never going to happen.
Oh, man. I feel you on that.
Oh, well. Some people are too proud.
Or some people just never make mistakes. I mean, you just don't understand how correct she is, how right she is.
That's right. Exactly. I was really the one in the wrong. What was I doing wanting to go out for Halloween?
Oh, boy. Well, we learn.
Yeah.
We learn and we grow until we die.
Hopefully.
And then the sexy ants come for us in our coffins. Pull us out, make us dance.
Well, I think that's it for this week. What are we going to do next week?
Next week is going to be such a great week because in our timeline, non-podcast internet world, right? And like calendar linear time, it's the election next week. And so there's going to be a lot of that happening.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Should we do an election-related apology? Is there such a thing? Or like a Trump-related apology?
There is that newspaper that published the wrong president winning, like in the 40s. Or like Dwight or McCarthy or whatever wins, and he didn't. And I don't know if they apologized.
McCarthy. Truman and Eisenhower.
I know enough about history to sound stupid when I talk about history.
We could do that one. I don't know if they apologized or just, I don't know what they did.
A retraction, Yeah, it is a retraction and apology. We'll have to take some time and think about it. We have some backup ones. We may not want to do anything political next week.
Oh, my God, yeah.
We may only want to do political stuff. It just kind of depends. Has Hillary apologized for eating babies? Has that come out yet?
Never.
No. I don't know.
We might want to do something that's totally unrelated. But we'll think about it.
We will think about it. So thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Apologies Accepted, the podcast.
You can find links to the articles and the sources in the show notes.
To submit an apology or find out more, visit us at apologiesaccepted.net, where you can also find our merchandise.
We're on Twitter at Apologies Accepted.
And on Instagram at apologies.accepted.
You can support our important work at Patreon.com/Apologies Accepted.
And fuck Facebook.
Bye.
Bye.